by showing the Paw Patrol with their friends in the jungle, and they are using sticks to get coconuts from the trees, because Mr. Porter needs the ingredient to make the recipe for his pies, as they will have the biggest cake party in the city. Then they thank the robots for helping them in the harvest, and they have the idea that they can think in another solution to make it more efficient. So they decide that they would make a catapult to speed up the process, and they manage to make the robot too efficient. But suddenly we see that it had started to fail, and that they can't deactivate it because the antenna had broken. So Ryder decides to call the Paw Patrol, and we see that they gather to listen to the mission. Ryder starts telling them that the animals are in trouble because of the catapult, and that they have to stop it because it is very dangerous. Then the Paw Patrol get into their vehicles, and we see that they are on their way to complete the mission, while the robots are confused about the location of the catapult. But Tracker hears that there is trouble in the north. The team goes at high speed to try to stop it, and Chase uses the megaphone to warn the animals that they are in danger. They then realize that a bird is in danger, and Tracker uses his wires to save it from the catapult. The robot is still confusing the jungle animals, and we see the Paw Patrol continue to work as a team to avoid an accident, while the robots go at high speed to try to get him to stop, but they are caught too easily. Then they realize that a rock is about to fall, and they contact their friends to ask for their help. Chase gets the idea that he can yell at the monkeys to get them into his vehicle, and manages to move them before they get hurt. But suddenly we see that one monkey was asleep, and Zuma arrives in time to save him from danger. Tracker begins to concentrate on looking for the catapult, but he can't hear where it is, while Sky informs her friends that she is under attack, and that she would be the distraction to start following her. Marshall uses his cannon to paint some objects, and they manage to fool the robot so that it gets confused. So Tracker takes the opportunity to climb into the catapult, and Rocky uses his screwdriver to repair his antenna, with which they managed to make it receive signals again, and that they could turn it off before it caused an accident. So they celebrate that they completed the mission, and that they got the coconuts for Mr. Porter's order. We go to Foggy Bottom, and Humdinger complains to his kittens because they got another toy. Suddenly he realizes that it's an egg, and he scolds them again for taking it down from its nest. Humdinger is surprised that he is being imitated by the hatched goose, and says he would take him back to his mother. While in the city, the captain is pretending to be a goose, because it is the season of bird migration. Humdinger tells the goose that they can't be together, and that he would leave him on the bench to wait for his mother. But suddenly, we see that he is still being followed, and that by accident, the goose ignited his vehicle. Humdinger goes running to hide from the goose, but we see that by accident, they had gotten into trouble, and that he calls Ryder to ask for his help. So Ryder decides to call the Paw Patrol, and we see that they gather to listen to the mission. Ryder starts telling them that the mayor is in trouble, and they must get there in time to save them from falling. Then the Paw Patrol get into their vehicles, and we see that they are on their way to complete the mission. The team arrives in time to help the mayor, and Marshall uses the ladder to start helping them. But suddenly we see that Humdinger has fallen, and Chase uses the net to save him from falling. He then starts telling them that he is being followed by a baby goose, and says that they must help him to get him back to his family. Chase manages to sniff out the location of his nest, but says that his family has already gone. So they realize they must help the goose to change his behavior because he is imitating Humdinger's actions. Ryder has the idea that they would disguise the mayor so that he behaves like a goose, because that way they could teach him how to behave, with which they manage to get the goose to start flying, and Sky starts taking them away to be reunited with her family. Humdinger says goodbye to his new friend, and says he's glad that he's back where he belongs. So they celebrate completing the mission, and helping the goose reunite with his family.